Hold on tight because this story is about to drop like a bombshell right in the middle of the music world. You won't believe what just went down between D4v and his ex-girlfriend's family. It's the kind of courtroom showdown that has fans absolutely shook. Imagine a high-profile battle, not just over money or fame, but revenge served cold by none other than his ex's father. That's right, a brutal twist nobody saw coming. The drama was off the charts. Emotions ran so high you could cut the tension with a knife. And now the whole family is left divided, while the internet explodes with theories and wild speculation. What led to this explosive moment? Who said what in the courtroom? And just how far will this war go? You're about to get the full jaw-dropping breakdown. Stay with me because this isn't just another celebrity spat. This is real, raw, and ruthless. If you thought you knew D4vd's story, think again. The plot thickens, the stakes get higher, and the revenge gets darker. Ready for the tea? Let's dive in. The courtroom was packed, the tension almost unbearable. D4vd sat quietly, eyes fixed on the floor as the murmurs around him grew louder. This wasn't just any hearing, this was the moment his ex-girlfriend's father was about to unleash. A brutal revenge that nobody saw coming. Fans had been speculating for weeks about what went wrong in their relationship. But now the truth was about to be dragged into the spotlight, raw and unfiltered. Emotions ran high as the judge called the room to order, signaling the start of what would become one of the most talked-about drama-filled court cases in recent memory. The father, a man known for his icy stare and unwavering principles, stood up first. He looked directly at D4vd and said, "You think you can just walk away after what you did? This isn't over." The courtroom gasped. The accusation hung heavy in the air. What had D4vd done to deserve such venom? Whispers spread quickly among the crowd. Betrayal? Deception? Something darker. The father's lawyer wasted no time presenting evidence that seemed to paint D4vd as a heartless figure who manipulated his daughter for fame and then discarded her when it no longer suited him. But D4vd was no stranger to controversy. His calm demeanor now cracked as he finally spoke. "I loved her. Whatever you say, it's not the whole story." His voice was low, but filled with a strange mixture of hurt and defiance. The courtroom watched in stunned silence, sensing the storm brewing beneath his words. This was no ordinary breakup. It was personal, messy, and about to explode. Friends and family on both sides looked on with mixed expressions. Some were visibly upset, others shocked, and a few whispered to each other in disbelief. The ex-girlfriend herself, who sat beside her father, seemed torn between loyalty and regret. She had been silent until now, but her eyes told stories of heartbreak and betrayal that no words could capture. The judge called for a recess, giving everyone a moment to breathe. But outside the courtroom, the drama was just heating up. Fans flooded social media, expressing their outrage and confusion. How could D4vd do this? One tweet read, "That father is savage, finally standing up for his daughter," said another. The hashtag D4vd courtroom war began trending, with fans taking sides, fueling the fire with every post. When the session resumed, the father's legal team introduced a shocking twist, a private letter allegedly written by D4v to the ex-girlfriend, filled with promises he never intended to keep and words that cut deep. The letter was read aloud, and its contents were brutal. Empty vows of love, threats veiled as care, and hints of a controlling nature that contradicted the charming public persona D4vd had cultivated. The courtroom reacted visibly. The ex-girlfriend wiped a tear, the father's face hardened, and D4vd looked visibly shaken. It was a moment that turned the tide. People who had once admired the rising star now questioned everything they thought they knew. Was D4vd really the innocent party? Or was this a carefully constructed facade hiding something far more sinister? Just when the tension seemed unbearable, D4vd's attorney stood up to defend him. With a fierce tone, she accused the father of using his daughter as a pawn in a revenge game, claiming the father was bitter over personal grievances unrelated to D4vd. She argued that the letter was taken out of context and that the entire case was a witch hunt designed to ruin D4vd's reputation and career. "We are here to seek truth," she said passionately, not to be swayed by emotion or vendettas, but the father's stare didn't waver. And the ex-girlfriend's eyes remained red from crying. The courtroom was a battlefield, with each side unwilling to back down. Outside, the media frenzy intensified. Reporters camped near the courthouse, desperate for any new detail. Interviews with friends revealed that the relationship had been volatile behind closed doors, full of passionate highs and devastating lows. Some described the couple as a perfect match torn apart by external pressures, while others hinted at dark secrets no one wanted to reveal. The first part of the hearing ended with a bombshell. The judge agreed to hear testimony from the ex-girlfriend herself in the next session. Anticipation skyrocketed. Everyone knew this was the moment the real story would come out, a chance for the young woman to finally speak her truth. Whatever it might be, fans and critics alike were glued to their screens, discussing every detail. The divide was clear. Some supported D4v, believing in his talent and hoping for redemption, while others rallied behind the father and daughter, seeing this as a fight for justice and protection. The family was left divided, the drama spilling far beyond the courtroom walls. As the day came to a close, one thing was certain: this was no simple breakup story. This was a deep emotional war fueled by betrayal, heartbreak, and the thirst for revenge. And the most explosive chapters were still to come. The tension from the first hearing spilled over into the next day as the courtroom filled once again, buzzing with anticipation. Everyone knew the big moment had arrived: the ex-girlfriend's testimony. She took the stand with a mixture of fear and determination in her eyes, knowing this was the chance to tell her side of the story after months of silence and speculation. Fans across the world held their breath, desperate to hear the truth behind the scandal that had consumed their favorite artists' lives. She began softly. "I never wanted it to come to this. I loved D4vd once, but things changed. It wasn't just a breakup, it was a nightmare." Her voice cracked, but she pressed on, describing a relationship that started like a dream but spiraled into chaos. He was charming, talented, but behind closed doors he was controlling and unpredictable. "There were nights I didn't know if he'd come home or if he'd be angry." The courtroom was silent, the weight of her words settling over everyone. The father nodded, his expression a mix of pride and pain. "This is what I've been trying to protect her from all along," he said quietly when asked about his role in the whole mess. "He wasn't the man we thought he was." The family drama deepened as the ex-girlfriend recounted incidents that shocked even the most hardened courtroom veterans: emotional manipulation, threats veiled as concern, and moments where she felt trapped and powerless. But just as it seemed the case was tipping firmly against D4vd, the singer's camp came back swinging with unexpected evidence. A series of text messages surfaced, painting a different picture, one where the ex-girlfriend appeared to provoke, threaten, and at times manipulate D4vd herself. Fans were stunned. Was this a case of two people tearing each other apart, or something more calculated? The battle intensified when a surprise witness was called, a close friend of the ex-girlfriend who claimed to have overheard private conversations, revealing plans to publicly ruin D4vd's image for financial gain. The friend testified. She said she wanted to make sure he paid for everything. This wasn't just heartbreak, it was war. The courtroom erupted in whispers. The family was fracturing right before everyone's eyes, as alliances shifted and secrets spilled out. Meanwhile, outside the courtroom, social media was ablaze with heated debates and wild theories. Memes, reaction videos, and conspiracy threads popped up by the minute. Fans took sides fiercely, some declaring D4vd a victim of a twisted scheme, others insisting justice was finally catching up to a troubled star. The hashtag D4vd revenge exploded, trending worldwide and pulling in even casual observers. Amid all this chaos, The father made a shocking revelation during a private interview leaked to the press. He had hired a high-profile investigator to dig into D4vd's past, unearthing skeletons that even the most loyal fans had never known. Rumors of secret relationships, shady business deals, and betrayals within the music industry painted a darker backdrop to the drama unfolding in court. Then came the twist nobody expected. The ex-girlfriend suddenly recanted part of her testimony, claiming she had been pressured by her father and legal team to exaggerate certain events. "I was scared," she confessed, tears streaming down her face. "I wanted to protect my family, but also the truth needs to come out." This reversal sent shockwaves through the courtroom. The family was now openly divided, with public support wavering as the truth became more complicated. D4vd's legal team pounced on this slip, demanding the judge consider dismissing key accusations and calling for an independent review of all evidence. The drama wasn't just legal anymore. It was deeply personal, raw, and messy. Emotions ran higher than ever, with both sides accusing each other of betrayal and deceit. Amid the courtroom chaos, a heated exchange erupted between D4vd and his ex-girlfriend's father. Voices were raised, fingers pointed, and decades of resentment boiled to the surface in a moment that left everyone stunned. "You don't get to play victim when you destroyed my daughter's life," the father shouted. D4vd fired back. "I'm the one who's been dragged through the mud while you sit there scheming." Security had to step in to separate the two before things got physical. The drama was now explosive, spilling over every barrier. Fans watching live streams described the scene as like a reality show, but way more intense. Comments flooded in. "This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Can't believe the father went that far. And D4vd needs to drop a song about this ASAP." The tension was palpable. The storyline unpredictable. What started as a heartbreak had turned into a high-stakes war of reputations, emotions, and family loyalty. But just when everyone thought the storm might calm, the ex-girlfriend dropped another bombshell during a private moment captured by paparazzi. She had secretly met with D4v days before the trial, hinting at a possible reconciliation or at least an attempt to find peace. "We're trying to figure things out away from the cameras," she said cryptically. Fans were left reeling. Was this a genuine attempt to heal old wounds, or just another twist in an ongoing saga designed to keep the spotlight burning? The courtroom drama had become more than just a legal battle. It was a full-blown soap opera with unpredictable turns, raw emotions, and secrets that refused to stay hidden. With every session, new layers peeled back, revealing more pain, more anger, and more reasons why this fight was far from over. The family was divided, friendships tested, and fans caught in the middle, desperate for answers and hoping for closure that might never come. The courtroom reconvened after the shocking revelations of the previous sessions, and the atmosphere was thick with anticipation. Everyone knew that this part of the trial would be the most explosive, yet the testimony of D4vd himself. The young artist appeared more composed than ever, but the faint tremor in his hands betrayed the storm raging inside. As he took the stand, cameras flashed and whispers filled the room. This was his moment to tell his side of the story, to reclaim control of the narrative that had spiraled so far out of his hands. D4vd began cautiously. "I never meant to hurt anyone. My relationship with her was real, but it wasn't perfect. I made mistakes, sure, but so did she." His voice was steady, but the raw emotion beneath was unmistakable. He described the relationship's highs, the late-night talks, shared dreams, and plans for the future before plunging into the darker moments. There were fights, yes, but those fights were between two people trying to figure out who they really were. The courtroom hung on his every word, some faces softening, others hardening. Then came the moment that turned everything upside down. D4vd revealed a hidden text exchange that contradicted much of the ex-girlfriend's claims. The texts showed her admitting to manipulating situations and confessing doubts about their relationship's future. The crowd gasped. The family was visibly shaken and the father's jaw tightened. She was playing a dangerous game, D4vd said quietly, and I was just trying to survive. The drama escalated to a new level, with fans divided even more deeply. The judge called for a short recess, and during the break, the courtroom corridors buzzed with speculation. Insiders hinted that more surprises were on the way, including a potential settlement offer that could change the entire course of the trial. Rumors flew about secret meetings, late-night phone calls, and possible betrayals that went beyond the two main players. The narrative was becoming a tangled web of loyalties and lies. When proceedings resumed, the ex-girlfriend's mother took the stand, adding another layer to the family drama. She spoke of her own heartbreak and confusion, caught between protecting her daughter and fearing for her family's reputation. "This isn't just about D4vd or my daughter," she said softly. "It's about the family we all built and the trust that's been shattered." Her testimony revealed cracks in the family's united front, deepening the divide and stirring sympathy from some unexpected corners. Then, in a stunning twist, an anonymous letter surfaced, allegedly written by the ex-girlfriend's best friend. The letter accused the father of orchestrating the entire court case as a way to control his daughter and punish D4vd out of jealousy and pride. The courtroom erupted into chaos as lawyers demanded the letter's authenticity be verified. The father denied everything, his reputation on the line, while the ex-girlfriend appeared conflicted, caught in the crossfire of her own family's war. Amidst this chaos, the media frenzy reached new heights. News outlets ran continuous coverage, dissecting every statement, every look exchanged between the parties. Talk shows and podcasts debated the implications, while fan communities exploded with theories and heated arguments. The once private heartbreak had become a global spectacle. With no end in sight, the trial's climax neared as both sides prepared for closing arguments. D4vd's camp pushed for a narrative of misunderstood youth and media distortion, painting him as a victim of a vendetta disguised as justice. The father's team portrayed a story of protection, betrayal, and the courtroom drama, filled with twists, betrayals, and raw emotions, was far from over, with the family fractured and the truth clouded by conflicting stories. Everyone awaited the final verdict that could either bring justice or deepen the wounds forever. Fans remained glued to every update, knowing that this was more than just a celebrity scandal. It was a real-life saga that would be talked about for years to come. The leaked video sent shockwaves through the courtroom and beyond, instantly becoming the most discussed piece of evidence in the entire case. It showed D4vd and his ex-girlfriend in a tense, private argument that was far from the romanticized versions fans had heard. Voices raised, accusations thrown back and forth, and at one point, a door slammed so hard it echoed through the room. It was raw, messy, and brutally honest, the kind of footage that made everyone question everything. The father's legal team wasted no time using the video to their advantage. This, the lead lawyer declared, is the real face of their relationship. No fairy tales, no sugarcoating, just the pain and chaos that D4vd brought into this family. The father himself watched with a cold, satisfied expression, as if this was the moment he had been waiting for to deliver his ultimate revenge. The family was left even more divided, the mother visibly distraught, caught between her love for her daughter and the harsh realities unfolding. But D4vd's defense didn't fold. They argued that the video was selectively edited, taken out of context, and didn't tell the full story of what happened behind closed doors. "Relationships are complicated," his attorney said passionately. "What you see here is a snapshot, not the whole album." She urged the judge to consider the emotional manipulation both parties endured, insisting that the public spectacle had turned a private pain into a circus. Amid the courtroom drama, the ex-girlfriend broke her silence once more. In a surprising move, she apologized publicly, admitting to mistakes on both sides and expressing a desire to move forward peacefully. "I was scared and confused," she said, voice trembling. "But I want to heal, not hurt anymore." This moment softened some hearts but also ignited new debates online. Was this genuine remorse or just another calculated move in a high-stakes game? As the trial approached its climax, whispers of a possible settlement surfaced. Sources close to the case hinted that both sides were considering a confidential deal to avoid further public destruction. But the father remained firm, refusing to back down unless certain conditions were met. An official apology, damages paid, and a promise from D4vd to stay away from the family forever. Fans were left wondering if revenge had truly been satisfied, or if this was just the calm before another storm. Through it all, the music industry watched closely. Colleagues and collaborators reached out privately to D4vd, some offering support, others distancing themselves. Sponsors paused deals, wary of the controversy, while fans anxiously awaited new music that might finally address the chaos swirling around their idol. The pressure was immense, and D4vd seemed to carry the weight of the entire saga on his shoulders. In the final courtroom sessions, motions hit a breaking point. Tears flowed freely, voices cracked, and the raw truth seemed just out of reach. The judge, caught between legal protocols and the human drama unfolding, urged everyone to consider the long-term impact beyond the headlines. "This case is about more than just accusations," the judge said solemnly. "It's about healing and finding a way forward." But with so much damage done, could that even be possible? The closing arguments were a masterclass in drama. Then, father's team painted a portrait of a protective patriarch fighting for his daughter's dignity, while D4vd's lawyers called for understanding and second chances. The courtroom was silent as the judge prepared to deliver a ruling that would either close the chapter or open a new one filled with even more chaos. Fans waited with bated breath. Social media buzzed with predictions and pleas for peace. The story had captivated millions, but deep down, everyone hoped for an ending that didn't just serve revenge, but allowed for forgiveness and growth. After all, behind the headlines and courtroom battles were real people, real emotions, and lives forever changed. Wow, what a wild ride, right? This story of D4vd and his ex-girlfriend's father shows just how messy and intense real-life drama can get when family, love, and revenge collide. We saw heated arguments, shocking twists, heartbreaking confessions, and a family torn apart in front of our eyes. But the question remains, where will this go next? Will there be peace, or is the war far from over? Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about all this chaos? Who do you believe? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the drama. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any updates on this story and other juicy celeb news. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. See you in the next video.